All right, Mom, so it's been a week now, right? Since last Thursday.
A little bit more.
Today's Sunday. Talk to me about your experience so far.
So my experience so far is super amazing and fascinating. To see the actual evidence of what you know your body responds to and how it reacts to different things. You know, you really can't get away with, you know, I'm just gonna sneak a chip here or sneak some ice cream there.
Crazy, right? Just one chip.
Because then, like, you know, I find myself hoping that it doesn't rise, and it's like, shit. You know? And then it's, you know, it goes like that. But yeah, it's overall really enlightening.
You know about this health stuff. Like, you be on it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I don't know everything, obviously.
Well, nobody knows everything.
I don't know. I didn't know about the glucose and the spike and then the corresponding crash and then the bouncing after that. I didn't know anything about that.
So, like, you know, I think it's almost like common knowledge. Like, when your glucose crashes, that's like associated with the itis, right? You feel sleepy. But like, have you noticed any real world like feelings associated with like the bounciness of it? You know what I'm saying?
So when I first got it, my glucose dipped really low at night, like into the 40s.
Right. And did you wake up when that happened?
No.
Interesting.
No, as a matter of fact, like when I did wake up, I felt like I was coming from some other land. I mean, that concerned me. So of course you go on Google and you look up like hypoglycemic and everything that says anything about being hypoglycemic is related to diabetes, and then it's like, oh my gosh, so do I have that? I don't know, but then the more days that went by, I still had lower than normal glucose, but not in the 40s.
Right. So
now when it's low, it's more like 50, high 50s or low 60s during the night.
During the night.
Yeah.
So what changed? Because it's only been a week.
Oh, I'm trying to be more active. So
We've been trying to get you to do that for how long?
I'm trying to game the system a little bit.
You be cheating. You and Dad.
I'll get on the stairs, you know, if I eat something that I don't want it to spike. So I'll
like,
go up and down the steps like 6 times.
With the glucose spike, that's interesting because it's like, it's not the consequence of the spike that you're worried about, right? What is it about the spike that you want to avoid?
So I feel like we're kind of competitive in the family.
So it's like it's a game.
I don't want to be like the weakest link. But at the same time, I don't want my body to I don't want my pancreas to be overworked. Obviously, I want to feel good. I want to be healthy.
What did you expect before you put it on?
First of all, I didn't feel like I needed it because I told you before, you know, get one for Dad because Dad needs it.
Not me.
I'm good. I don't need it. Because every time I go to the doctor, all my levels are just immaculate. You know, everything is always really good in the green. So I felt it would be a waste of time for me. So although I don't have high glucose, I'm concerned about the low glucose levels. And so, you know, I realized that a lot of it corresponds to my lack of activity.
That's interesting because like glucose or exercise is supposed to decrease glucose. How does a lack of activity make your glucose low?
Because I'm not exercising strenuously. I just need to move. And I tend to be very sedentary. Like, excuse me, I will sit at my computer all day long, you know, and get up a few times, you know, just to go get something to drink and sit back down.
Right.
And then at night, I'm tired, and so I just park myself on the couch.
So when you do that, or when you were doing that earlier on, what did your glucose look like when you were just like sedentary?
From the doctor's office or from the...
From the monitor. Or maybe did you start moving as soon as you put it on?
No, like it's probably the next day.
Okay.
Probably the next day.
Okay, so then you probably don't have enough of like a...
Not like moving a lot. Like I would do some push-ups or, you know, squats or go up and down the steps. I don't do strenuous exercise.
So what about pairing your food? Has that been more of like a thing?
You know, what I'm really disappointed about is like yesterday I was really good. I was in the 90s all day. My metabolic score was in the 90s. I had grain-free tacos, and then I had some apple juice with some aloe vera juice in it, thinking I was doing something good. And then as soon as I finished drinking it, I was like, oh, okay, let me go up and down the steps just in case, you know. So I went up and down the steps until my legs felt like noodles, and I sat back down. And I was like, I really want some sherbet. So I got some sherbet, and then I sat down and I ate it, and I didn't get back up.
Yeah.
And then my glucose shot up to 135.
Did you feel any type of way?
So mad, and I ended off the day like I went from 90 metabolic score to like 70.
So it's like that's what's so interesting to me about it. It's called gamifying the experience. It's like when you make it a game and you try your best to maintain that score, what ends up happening is you end up making like healthier choices. So if you really wanted to be about that life, then you wouldn't have had the apple juice at all. You would drink some water,
right?
And you wouldn't have had the sherbet at all.
You're experimenting.
Yeah, but do you think that doing it that way is like, I don't know, do you like you depriving yourself of life a little bit?
Yeah. I do. What's funny about that is only in recent years have I really had to drink juice or have something sweet. I don't do that normally. But as you get older, things change, and you start having different kinds of cravings, like alcohol, wine, sweets, chocolate, things like that. And I think it's catching up to me. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't do that all those years. I just started that. So
recently.
Normally, I'm very conscientious about what I eat. When I say conscientious, I know what I'm doing when I'm doing wrong. I'm still going to do wrong, but I know what I'm doing.
But it's different now because you have something telling you, like what's happening when you do make those choices. So overall, it's been just a week. Was there anything that happened that made you have a question? I wonder.
Yeah, every day.
Really? How do you answer those? You just Google?
Google.
I love it.
Yeah, or YouTube. There's a lot of videos. There's Dr. Berg and other people on there talking about pre-diabetes and insulin. I didn't understand insulin resistance really. Now I want to go get that checked, to see if there's any level of insulin, resistance that's going on. I feel like every time my glucose shoots up, my pancreas is like, okay, let's go get them.
That's exactly what's happening. That's a good way to put it.
So, yeah, I feel like my body's working, but I don't know. I don't like how low it dips. I don't like that.
The past week, exercise, avoiding late night spikes, and I guess being more conscious in general has helped you to not have low or as low glucose. And it's only been a week, so I wonder, so by mid-April, you'll be, I don't know, what do you think? Completely stable?
I'm not muscular, so I feel like if I work on doing some weight-bearing exercises, and then I'll build some muscle mass, and then I have to have more muscles and I can eat more stuff. I can get some pasta. I love pasta and I really miss pasta, and I'm really mad I haven't had any pasta.
You can totally have some
pasta since I put this on.
All right, so your homework assignment this week is to have some pasta. Just find a strategic way to eat it where your blood sugar won't spike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, any questions? Anything I can answer for you? Any last words? It's one weekend. Is there anything you want to say to yourself?
I just want to say thank you for doing this for us, because I think it's a really good experiment.
Yeah.
For even though we're mostly healthy and we're not obsessive about it, but every one of us knows, I raised you guys that way, you shouldn't be drinking soda. You know what's going to happen if you fill your mouth with a bunch of sugar, bad food, fried food, chicken wings, things like that. You got to balance it out. But at the same time, it's important that we know what's going on inside of our bodies, and you can't know that with just that annual fasting glucose test and all the other tests. Some of us, spend the couple weeks before our appointment doing all the good things.
You be snitching, right?
I didn't say who.
Go ahead, you good. It's only one person.
There's 8 of us, or 6, 7 of us, however many. This is awesome, and I think everybody should do this or have access to the glucose monitor annually, for 2 weeks at least, so that they know that, okay, I need to stop doing this, I need to do more of that.
Cool.
Full picture. I wish they had this for all the things, for me, for hormone levels, for women.
That's it. That's coming. Levels they talk about.
I need that, tomorrow. They're going to do that soon. CHM, the continuous hormone monitor.
It's coming. I don't know when, but levels, they talk often about how glucose is just one molecule, and the future is a multi-molecule sensor. So glucose, cortisol, insulin, all of that.
Yeah.
Soon come. All right, cool. Well, that's a 1-week check-in. We'll come back in another week and see what you learned.
I'll be better.
You're doing fine. Somebody that's diabetic is gonna watch this and be like, ugh, so sick of those damn McGuffies. I get it already, actually. Yeah, I've had people DM me like, you're genetically fine. There's no reason to be wearing that.
Yeah.
this point, I'm not even wearing it for me. Like, I'm doing this to bring awareness for other people who need to be doing it.
But I think that's unfair because you used to, when you were a teenager and you worked at Wendy's, you came home every day with candy and soda in your car.
I did.
And I used to tell you all the time, you know, you're doing yourself bad, just stop doing that. And you wouldn't listen, of course, because teenagers don't listen. But then you were also the one in college that was always, you would always get sick.
Exactly.
I mean, anything that went around, you caught it, and you were the one that needed antibiotics. You had like strep throat or whatever. Why are you always sick?
But you know what? I don't get sick no more. So even though I'm not trying to reverse diabetes,
but you've improved your immune system by no telling what you were doing to your gut health with all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with a glucose monitor. Like, it tells you your glucose. Dad might eat ice cream and have no glucose response, which is cool.
Right.
But then there's also, well, what about like inflammation that might be causing in your gut? Like
there's
the
no
sugar.
Monitor for that.
Yeah, there's no monitor for that. But it does all impact glucose control. It's just, you just don't see it in the short term. It's like over an extended period of time.
So if somebody, you know, basically criticizes you or comes into your DMs or comments that it's genetic for you, no, you actually are a walking experiment. Like you did it.
And everybody is a walking experiment.
Yeah.
We just don't, I guess, realize that. Like, there's this thing called, have you heard like N of 1? Like, you have the N of 1. So you have all these studies out there and all these diets, and it's like, do this, do that. But then if you look at all these things as like a personal experiment, like, forget the studies, observe the studies, but like, what's best for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that's how you get to it. Especially women. Oh my gosh.
Who you telling? I'm my own experiment. I always have been. That's why I don't recommend anything for anybody.
Right.
Based on what I have done, but the only recommendation I can make for women is to know your body, know yourself.
Yeah.
And something like a glucose monitor helps with that, just that one tiny component.
Right.
You know, but as we age, everything's changing.
It is.
All the levels, you know, insulin, cortisol, you know, in addition to the estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, all of it's changing. And so that affects our bodies, it affects our immune system, it affects our energy level, it affects our sleep, it affects
your
all
insulin sensitivity.
The things.
Yeah.
All our mood, like everything.
Ooh, the mood, I know.
Everything.
Dang.
So, you know, we have to be more vigilant about what we put in our bodies.
Yeah.
We can't just sit around and, you know, we can't get away with eating pizza and beer and then going to sleep and not expecting
to feel like trash.
You know what I mean? For the next week. Or you could wake up in a really bad mood because your gut health is off.
This morning, me. I ain't gonna lie, I woke up irritated. Well, I had all that candy, all that sugar. I know it's not good for me. My glucose was fine, but I know. You know, I told you like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I said, man, when I eat bad, I know when I get that point where I need to turn around. That was this morning. It's like,
wow. And see, I haven't really made that connection until just right now when you're saying it. Like, I know it in my mind that your gut health, you know, there's a connection between that and your brain. In your mind, you know these things, but like, if I'm gonna eat this pizza and drink this margarita, and then I wake up like in a bare mood, I don't wanna be bothered for the next week, I don't make the connection, but now I do.
It's the food, man. Yeah. All right, well, cool. That's it.